Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. And today I am having an unboxing because this is an exciting order to me. I love collagequilter.com, Emily Taylor's website. I'm getting more and more and more into collage quilting, and I just love it. And she has her own line of fabrics. Now she's had recently opened an online website. Well, she's had the website for a long time, so that's not the appropriate thing to say. She opened an online fabric store that carries more than just her line of fabrics. But for Labor Day, she had a sale, and it was stupendous. All of her fabric was about half off. Not all of her fabric, but a lot of her own line of fabric, and some of her panels were about half off. And I love her panels. I'll talk more about that when we get to it, because I know there's some in this box. But I want to show you what all I got. Box was in total. All of this yardage was about $6 a yard. Of course, the bill doesn't say how much it was in total. It's just a manifest. So I do apologize. But I do know the prices that I paid, okay? So we will go from there. One of the things I love to buy are her scrap bags, and she doesn't always have them, and I watch for her to have them. And I try to buy two if she has them. They're always, because a lot of her fabrics are specifically for collage quilting, but they are also beautiful for other things. So we're going to look at it, and you're going to see that usually they're good sized pieces of fabric. So this, see it? I don't know how much that is, but it's the width of fabric. So I would say that's about a 6-inch long cut, just kind of jaggedly cut, but it's a 6-inch long cut, and it's a tulle. And this is from her fabric line, so she designed it. Okay. That's a good size. This is the scrap bag. Okay. Now, this one's smaller. This is about, I don't know, but that's the whole thing there. But isn't that pretty? And this is the first of 2 scrap bags. And like I say, a lot of her fabric is curated for collage and the collage quilts that she does. And so sometimes it's the border or the background. It's not necessarily that you're cutting it up for collage. So, like, this is background on several of her things. And I love this fabric. This is for her line of fabric is called the Verdant line. She used to be a designer. I'm not certain. I think it was for Riley Blake. And then she went through several other things that she did. And then at some point started collagequilter.com. And then after that, at some point, started designing her own fabric line and has it produced herself. And then this is just a real light. You can almost see it. Kind of a marbleized, like it's been wet dyed. It's really pretty. This fabric is a really useful fabric in a lot of ways, not just the flower. You can imagine when you start cutting those components out for bird feathers and different things like that. That's a neat piece of fabric. And this one is much the same way. And every scrap bag that I get of hers that has this in it, I treasure it. It is so useful. This one's kind of a beigey on white. And I always love fabrics with words. Now, her collage quilting is a lot different than Laura Heine's. It's a totally different style. It uses much smaller pieces. So they're both equally as talented. They just do a different style. And I've got other pieces of this. Excuse me, I need to get a drink of my Diet Dr. Pepper. Hold on. I'm from Texas, and There's an awful lot of Dr. Pepper folks in this area. And she uses, I've seen this in a fair amount of her collage quilting as well. It's really pretty. And of course she uses these because of the patterns. You can just do some really neat things with them. And this appears to be just some black. And this is another bit of that. It's a batik. These bags are $15 each. And when you do a lot of small things like I like to do, these are just fabulous. I'm getting more and more and more into the hand stitching side of fiber arts, even as far as my quilting. I'm going to enjoy quilting on my machine, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to get rid of that, but now this is a neat fabric. It's got words on it, and they're on the, like in part of it. Let me see what the other side is like. It's just really light, but there's also some vegetables. I already think I know what I'm going to do with that. And this is one that I absolutely love, this fabric. It's peonies, and peonies are my favorite flower. But see, there's two whole peonies and one that's almost whole right there. Yeah, you can do a lot with those if you like collage quilting, fabric collage. And not all of these are from her line, by the way. This is, and I think a fair amount of, I'll start trying in this scrap box, letting you know what's from her line. I think I did on that tool, not tool. Okay, I'm having a brain thing. I told you that this was part of her line. This is part of her line. Let me see. This is part of her line. This is her design. And then this. She designed this to go with sort of a French themed project that she has. I haven't bought, I have the pattern, but I haven't worked on it yet. And then this is not part of her line. I'll just let you know only if it's part of her line. I won't go back and forth whether it is or it isn't. But it's that. Here's another batik. And like I say, there's good, decent sized pieces. They're not just little tiny slivers of fabric. Yeah. I think she actually weighs the fabric, and that's how she decides how much is going to be in your packet. I'm not positive about that. Now, this is the first I've seen of this one. She used to always have the same fabric with in a bright kind of a limey green almost. And see, it's a cross-stitch fabric. I already know what I'm going to do with this. And this one's purples and blacks, so I think that this is supposed to be Halloween, actually, and I don't do Halloween. But I would definitely cut out the parts of it they're like here, birds with hearts, things like that. And there's a bee. Now that I see that it's really Halloween themed, I probably wouldn't cut that out. Here's this. Because I don't enjoy doing Halloween, so I don't. And she just came out with a new line of fabric that I'm not certain that I recognize yet. But anyway, so this is one of her fabrics. And it goes like this, I think. Yeah. And we're still just on the first bag. This is the other cross-stitch pattern stuff I told you about. And this one doesn't really have any complete. She uses these as part of her collage to kind of give it texture, her fabric collage. But it's not part of her line. But now this one's part of her line. You can see there's a good chunk of that. Okay, so that was the first bag of scraps. I want to see what there is different in the second bag. I kind of went a little bit hog wild. I'm going to make a lot of project bags. And there's some other things I'm going to make too. You're going to see that not all of it works for project bags. But a lot of this is to make project bags for my Etsy shop. Because I'm not going to find the nice fabric for this price. $6 a yard is very difficult to find anymore. For quality anyway. So some of this will look very similar to what you've seen, only it may be a different colorway. Okay, this is one of Emily's fabrics. And I noticed lately she's added her daughter's name to a lot of her daughter's name is Emily Whitney. And she's added her daughter to a lot of so maybe they've become business partners. I don't know. I know that they work together a lot. It's a very small family business. That's actually more fabric than it looks like because you open it up and this is still doubled. So she has a lot of this because several of her patterns, you make those blue and white, what do they call them, chinois vases, Asian style vases. The flowers in them will be in those vases, so she has a fair amount. Words. These are more the ones that I was telling you about, so utterly helpful. This is another one. See, this is the one that had the, yeah, and you don't end up using them, fussy cutting necessarily the flowers out, though you certainly can, and you do in collage quilting, but you're also doing things like feathers, or maybe even nothing that has anything to do with the shape. You're cutting it off just for the variance in the colors to get texture and interest in your collage. So, and that's why these small bits are so helpful. And I've learned a lot about how to pick out fabric for her collages and for fabric collage in general by looking at these fabric scraps when they come. I know what it is that she's using. Yeah. And then you go back and you look at her principles of picking out a good fabric, because she does a video and there's also some wordage about that on her website. And in her books, she has several books out. You totally get what she's saying in the book when you see the fabrics that are in these scrap bags. This is one of her fabrics. And some of these, she has them repeated just in different colors. So this one is one of her fabrics. This is from her Longwood line. Another one kind of static cling stuck to the back of that one. That one. Some more batik. Just a plain black. She has one where it's fish, and they really are authentic looking fish. Anyway, and they have eyes. I'm wondering if that's what she Got these different, yeah, I don't know. Another batik. It's like a 6-inch block or something. I can hear my puppies wanting in, but I know I need to get this unboxing done before I let them in, because they're going to be up here trying to see what's in the box. This one she has in different colorways. It's not part of her line, but she really seems to like it in her collage, and she has it in different colors because I received them in this, yeah. Every once in a while you get to see the name of the designer. It's from some kind of picturesque collection by the designer Katrina Rochella. Right there. See, here's that one I told you that she had it in multiple different colorways. It wasn't of her line, but she, yeah, I've seen multiple different colors of this pattern, print. Here's another batik. And you've seen this one in different colors just today. Yeah, she's been doing a quilt called Garden Party, and I think this is one of the, I don't know if it's part of her fabric collection or not, but this is one of the prints I've seen on that quilt. And I'm going to be doing that quilt. I really like it. I really wish she would republish her. It was a revised Garden Party quilt. She had done that in the past, but it was different. And I'm hoping she's going to offer at least the patterns for because it doesn't contain all the same blocks. And I'm hoping some of the pieces from her the older version of that quilt are going to be available. I asked her at one point, and she said yes, they were. So anyway, hopefully she doesn't change her mind, because she's had a lot going on in her family. And then they've moved to a new, bigger business area. They don't have a sticks and bricks house. Trying to remember if this one's a part of her line or not. I can't remember. This could possibly be a part of her line. Okay, so you've got double this one, that what you can see, it's folded. Now, if you go on her website, she sells bundles of fabric in colorways. Yeah, so you're trying to build up your collage collection in different color families, and you can purchase that color family. Or she has one that's specifically for fussy cutting out flowers and various other things. There's this one. It's a good size piece. There's herons on it, different things. This is a very vivid, pretty red. I think it comes across on the camera as almost an orange, but it is not an orange red. It's definitely a cool red, but it's very pretty. And then here's another good sized piece of the peonies. I could never have too much of this. I love it. I actually ordered a big piece of it once when she had a sale. Okay, so there are the scraps that I ordered. Now I'm going to go into the various other things, which are panels and yardage, okay? Now, so here's the first one. And this is one of her, the rest of this is all her fabric line, okay, from her fabric line. And I think I ordered everything in a yard except for the panels. There are a couple of them that the yard may be split into 2 half yard sections, because it said they were out of it by the yard, but they had the half yards available. So I don't know. Now this is from her line, and it's Pierce's Park is what she's calling it. And this is actually one of her newer prints. And I got a full yard of it. I'm not going to unfold it all the way. But this is one of the ones I think she uses for background on one of her quilts. Excuse me. In order to do this, I'm having to sit sideways. So, yeah, and it's a little slippery. Now, I'm not going to open both of these, but I got 2 of these panels, and you're going to see why, because I'm going to explain to you why once I get them open. But there's not really any sense opening both of them, just to show them to you. She has some of her collage patterns that she sells backgrounds that you can collage directly on. And she puts these backgrounds on sale every once in a while. I find these things great. Not only can I use them for a background for her quilt, but I can use them as a background for something else. But I've also been doing a lot of fussy cutting from them. And this whole pack, she'll put them on sale, you know, like this time it was $11 for this whole pack. $11. So let me show you the panels, and let your imagination run wild, because I did. And there is so much you can do with these, and every one of them. This is part of her Petite Rouge collection, and like I say, these are designed by Emily Taylor. I'm going to move this back just to see if it's going to cut me off, but I want you to look at the fabric. See the corners, and then look at the fabric in the center. See the border right here? The fruit and the vegetables on the edges, and all the different leaves and flowers for fussy cutting. Just use your imagination, and yeah, it's the possibilities with it are endless. I think I have bought a total of 6 of this particular line. She's got another one that is part of a collection that she did with cats. And I think she also has a 3rd one, but those weren't on sale. So I got the ones that were on sale. And I already know I make endless use of these. So just look at all the components that are on it. See? I hope y'all are able to see it, because when I put it in front of my head like that, I can't see what's showing on the camera. And I don't have the best filming situation here, so especially the light is changing again outside. I went out and I said, let me hurry. Okay, and then here's another one. And the other bag, I'm going to hold these and leave them folded in half so that you can then see them a little bit better, I think. Okay. I was holding the other one sideways, my apologies. And I'm still holding this one upside down. And I've actually used these. I'm using these on a current project, and I've got it all cut up, and it's amazing. I really love using these. And I don't think she meant them to be fussy cut, but I do. Okay. Another one. See if I can hold this one. Okay, let's see here. Let's start at the top and work our way. And you can see there's similarities between them, but they're all different. And these were for roosters. This particular quilt, these were originally made for, they're beautiful roosters. They're not, it's not cartoonish like or anything like that when you get done with it. When I do mine, I will share it with you, or you can go to collagequilter.com and look at all of this fabric on there. I don't know if she's taken it off sale or not. I ordered mine just before midnight happened, before the 1st, and it's already here. And what is today, the 2nd or the 3rd? We're on Tuesday morning. Labor Day was yesterday, so it's already here. I mean, yeah, it's really hard to believe that she got it here this fast. Now, she's out of Salt Lake City, and I mean, it's a straight through on I-40 to get here from Salt Lake City. We share the freeway. And like I say, this is all part of her Petite Rouge collection, and it's kind of a French themed with the roosters, and it's just really pretty. And here's another one. She's very, very talented. Okay, let me find the best way to hold this one. And all of them I've shown you so far are part of that $11 pack. And if you're a slow stitcher, any of that stuff, and you like to fussy cut things out and then do thread painting over it or anything like that, I'm just telling you, it's a bonanza. For me, it has been anyway. I think it depends upon your style of doing it. This one's really bright and pretty. I think I'm going to continue. I think it was going better when I was holding them halfway. Let's see. I use those corners. I mean, not a bit of this goes to waste. If you're a slow stitcher and you don't and you end up, because I don't have access to all of the antiques and stuff that everyone uses for slow stitching. Oh, excuse me, guys. I'll edit that out. Okay, so that is what is in one complete package that was on sale for $11. All of those, okay? I mean, so now, okay. Wow, okay. The rest of it, she's got in 2 big packages. So let's see. I had my note paper here. I was going to write inventory as I unboxed it, but I said, let me do a share. I'll remember what was here and what wasn't. Okay. Well, it'll be helpful for you because these did not come all individually folded. It looks like they cut them and then they made a big stack. And there's 2 stacks like this. Okay. All right, so where's the best place to open this and get to the middle? I think that's going to be the best way to... Now, some of these you have seen in the scrap thing, just in small pieces. And some of them you didn't. Some of these I'm going to know the name of her collection, and others I won't. This first one is another hugely useful piece. I'm going to show you the different strips that are on it. And a lot of her panels and different collage pieces, she has actually cut out those individual strips and used them, you know, like just this individual strip right here. Okay. And it repeats itself on the other side. I got a full yard of that. And I'm going to be folding as we go and sliding down in this chair again because of the angle I'm having to sit at. Now, this was part of her Longwood collection. And she calls this Brandywine in green, is what she calls it. Because I think she might either be planning on another color of this, or she already has another color. I can't honestly remember. Okay, now this is a part of a brand new, look at the pattern in it, and there is a full yard of that. It's the same. And it's from her Verdant line once again. It's from her Flora and Felines collection, and it's called Kaleidoscope in green. And you can see why she calls it Kaleidoscope. And there's a yard of this. And this is like regular fabric yardage. It's not, I know that there's some fabric sellers that have taken to opening it all up, but she cuts it the correct way, which I'm thankful for, because there's some people charging the other charges for the fabric, and they're opening it up. You're not getting actually a yard of fabric. You're getting a cut of fabric, which is fine if they haven't overly charged. They're not charging you for a full yard. And now you saw this in the scraps. And this is a part of her Longwood collection. And she calls this one Kennett Square. Yeah, she's got her daughter's name on all of these now. I don't think when she first came out with the Longwood collection that her daughter's name was on it. I may be wrong. I think in my original early on ones. But I think all of this fabric and everything here was $170, which I should not have spent. Not any way, shape, or form, but I did. Okay, and then this is also from her Longwood collection. Now, the Longwood collection, there's a garden on the East Coast somewhere, and it's the Longwood Garden. And she went to visit that garden and just fell in love with it and wanted to create a quilt. And what I will do is insert right here that quilt and what it looks like. All the pictures in it and everything are collaged out of small pieces of fabric. I'm working on that quilt right now as we speak. So, and she totally teaches you just by being a part of her YouTube group and being a part of her Collage Quilter Academy, I think it's called, our group on Facebook. You totally end up learning how to do this kind of collage. It's wonderful. And this is called Wilmington in Blue. But it's from her Longwood collection. And by the way, that Flora and Felines, if you're a cat lover, that is, you're collaging these beautiful cats. I am going to be making some of that one. I'm not going to make the quilts. I am going to take the blocks and make pillows out of them. So I want to order the panels that go along with that. And then I want to order an extra couple of sets to do what I told you that I do with these. This is a part of her collection. This is a part of the Garden Party collection, I believe. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, no, this is part of the Flora and Felines collection. I was wrong, and it's called Dianthus in Orange. And I believe I got another colorway of this one. So this one has got kind of a orange feature in the flowers if you look closely at it. So dianthus and orange, and this is from her Flora and Felines collection. So it's a part of that quilt with the cats. And I don't know, I think she still sells that as a kit, and it's a very economical kit. I don't think it comes with the backing or the binding or, you know, all that. It's the quilt tops. Now you saw this one. This is the Wilmington that we just saw, but only this one's in teal. Part of her Longwood collection. Like I said, all of this is a yard. Now this other one, if you can't guess which quilt line this one belongs to, with us talking about the other one. This is her Felines collection. And I know that this one's in different colorways. I of course couldn't get them all because I just got what was on sale. But there's different types of cats on here. It's not just Persians, there's little tabbies, all kinds of cats on here. See if I can show you some of the different ones. It's really a pretty fabric. Now let me see what she calls it. Catnip in green. So the print is called Catnip, and this is that Catnip in green. And once again, I'm going to be making projects bags from these, and some other things. And they will end up on my Etsy shop. And this is another of the Kaleidoscope. Let's see. And from the Flora and Felines. Now she doesn't call this one Kaleidoscope, so it's not the same one. Looks about the same. No, it is different. It is different. This one she calls Tiled in Teal. Let me move these. Okay. And this one's part of the Flora and Felines collection. So if you order her Felines quilt kit, you will probably be getting some of that as part of the kit. I can't remember if that's one of her, she's trying to help keep the cost down for people, and so some of her kits she's now producing the fabric. It's not a panel quilt, but it's one big piece of fabric that has the different fabrics in it, and you just cut them out. And so now this is the same one with the different cats, only the colorway is different. I'm not a huge cat person, although I don't mind them. I'm a puppy person, but I do love this. So Flora and Feline Catnip in Orange it's called. And really it's not a bright orange. I don't know how it appears on but it's really pretty. And I got a yard of this one. I think people that really enjoy cats will enjoy a project bag made out of this. Okay, and then this is also part of her Longwood collection, and it's called Alice in Blue. Kind of similar to the Kaleidoscope ones, isn't it? But not the same. It's not, yeah, it's more got its little flowers in there instead of, yeah. See? Little flowers. Okay. So there is one of the big packages of fabric. I've never seen her fabric marked down. Yeah, but I know that they're in the process of moving to a new location for their business. So that could be, pull this in just a little bit. That could be why she had it. But normally I think she's around $12 to $13 a yard, kind of right in line with where everybody else is. And except for Tula Pink. Tula Pinks just had a huge price hike. So, okay, so now here's some more. And this is from a variety of her lines as well. Once again, these are all 1 yard cuts. And this one is from her Flora and Felines again. And it's a damask in blue is what it's called. And you're going to see. It's very, very pretty. Very pretty. And that whole yard was $6 and some change. Each one of these yards of fabric. I mean, I was in shock. Because, you know, up here at my local quilt store, there's no sales. I don't know if it's that way for all of the quilt stores anymore, but my local one does not have sales. So, and this is from the Longwood collection, and this one is called DuPont in blue. See the birds? You saw some of this in the scraps. Okay. Now, if you decide you want to go back for any of those scraps, sometimes you have to just check in with their site periodically. They're not always there. Now, she has a fabric club. I belong to the fabric club. It's $17 a month. And I don't remember how much the yardage is, but you get a good selection of collage cuts is what I call them. They're about 3 or 4 inches wide, and they're the width of fabric. So that's like 44, 45 inches long. And they are $17. And like the one for this for last month was for August, and it was all warms, and it had a theme that said cotton candy, heat, you know, different things to do with a hot summer or going to the fair, things like that. Now this is from the Flora and Felines collection, and it's called Sneaky Stripe in Plum. And this is going to be hard to see because of the light in my room, and I do apologize, but it's kind of like a plum on gray. Sorry, the lawnmower just got going. So it's like a plum in gray. Her fabric is so soft. Okay, you're going to recognize this one. It's just in a different color. And this is from her line, Flora and Felines, once again. And this one is called Kaleidoscope in Night. Okay. I am really happy because the ones I ordered in the half-yard cuts, they didn't cut them. So I'm very happy. I'm glad they're in the 1 yard. Yeah. And you've seen this one just in another color from the Flora and Felines collection. And this one is called Dianthus in Pink. Now, I've got some other things coming in, and I plan on doing unboxing with those as well. Instead of doing a big haul video. Now, you saw this earlier, and it was blue. And these were from her Longwood collection. And where you saw it was in the scraps. And you saw it in blue. Now you're going to see a big piece of the one in blue as well. But this one is from the Longwood collection. It's the same one you saw, only it's in green. Okay. And once again, this is designed by Emily Taylor, part of her Verdant line of fabric. That is her company name for her fabric. And there's gazebos, there's swans, there's peacocks, trees, water fountains, towers. It's really cool. And once again, there's a yard of that. And I know you cannot see the entire fabric. It's not the most perfect scenario here, but I do hope you're seeing enough of it that you can kind of get a feel for her fabric line. It's beautiful. She used to design for Riley Blake, and some years ago. It was a long time before she ever even did this. It wasn't anything recently. Now you saw some of this earlier as well, just in another color. This is from her Longwood collection, and this one is called Pincushion in Green. And I think you saw this in the scraps, okay? And except for you saw it in another color. I'm not sure, maybe we didn't. I know I have it in my scraps, but it might have been in another time I ordered it. I apologize. But it's called Pincushion in Green. And it's little flower arrangements. She, every once in a while, not very often, every once in a while holds a retreat at a resort near where she lives, just outside of Salt Lake City. And it's at a higher end resort. They're not cheap retreats, but everybody I've talked to that went said it is totally worth it. You learn a lot. So now this is from her Petite Rouge collection, and the one with where she did the kind of a French style with roosters. You can imagine the uses for that. Now this next one here you saw, and it was the strip one. This one's a little bit different. I don't think it might, yeah, no, it's exactly the same. It's just in a different colorway. Okay. I've seen this. I just didn't realize they were the same print. So this one's called Brandywine in Cream. And you can see it's those strips. And in a lot of her work, she has you cut these strips out individually. Yeah. It's very feminine, very pretty. And you can see where it starts to repeat. So I got to get on the machine and start sewing. I ordered the some other supplies I need to the zippers and whatnot to get these bags going. So I will come on and show them to you here on the channel and then let you know when they're available on my website. I'm going to start out with one design of project bags and then add to it. So I'm going to start out with project bags and then maybe a few thread keeps. Little portfolios with a magnet, and you just fold it, but it holds your needles that you've already threaded, or, you know, those loose pieces of thread that you still need to use and you need a place to keep them. You've seen them, you know. They'll hold that. So you've seen this just in a different color. Once again, from the Petite Rouge collection. And once again, this is called, just called Salute. And that's what the other one was too. And I'm sorry I didn't tell you that. Okay. Oh no, that other one wasn't Salute. It was red, but it was not Salute. It was the flowers in the circles were different. So I just realized they were different. Yeah, they're different fabric, okay? They're not the same fabric, not the same print. Okay, one more to go, and we will have finished with this unboxing. And they're out there mowing the lawn, so please excuse that. It's a big piece of property out here to mow, and so they're big mowers. So here's the blue one that I was telling you about that we saw in the scraps. Let's see if I can do a better job showing you the components of it this time. So you can see we're about to see a water fountain, like what might be in the Longwood Gardens. Ostriches, trees. There's a stone tower. Lots of different bushes and flowers. There's probably, you should have been able to see a swan by now. If not, you'll see it pretty quickly. There's bird fountains with birds drinking. Here's the bird fountain with the birds drinking. Baby ducks, or baby swans probably. Yeah, baby swans. So it's a swan with her babies. I can get it over there. Yeah. So, the gazebo. This is very pretty fabric. Like I say, all of this was $6. And when you consider, I went to a garage sale recently, and they wanted $5 for a used, it wasn't that it was a used fat quarter, but they were dusty old fat quarters that had been sitting around their house. And I didn't get them. I just felt like they weren't clean. It wasn't like buying a in good condition fat quarter from the store. So I said no. I said, thank you, have a good day. That's her prerogative to charge what she wanted for them. And here I got a whole yard for $6 and some change. And this is a lot of fabric for $178. So it's $178 that I should not have spent, but I did. But the good part about it is I will use it all. And even if I don't make money on the project bags, it's a hobby of mine to do things like that. And it's just wonderful to get to do things and cover your costs. That's the main thing for me. I'd like to cover my costs so I can keep doing things like that. I like to sew. I just like all of that. And I do have to order a new foot pedal for my sewing machine. My puppy chewed it all up and chewed up the entire cord. How he could do that to a metal foot, I do not know. But let's suffice it to say that it happened just when I just took enough time off watching him to run to the restroom. And I came out and he had done it. And anyway, plus he's starting to lose his second round of teeth. He got in all his baby teeth. And he didn't have them all in when he came to me. He probably was not quite ready to leave his mom yet. And now he's lost a couple of teeth, and there's more teeth coming in. So we're starting on round 2 of teething. And that's what has caused all of that. So the only thing I didn't open, you saw, was because I ordered 2 of them. And they're exact duplicates. And these are the Petite Rouge panels, is what these were called. It's from her Petite Rouge line, and they're the panels. So if any of you like cutting out, fussy cutting, or even collaging, or doing different things with panels, let your imagination soar with these. And also go look on her website. She's got the one for the flora and felines, and she may have one for the garden party quilt. I'm not certain if that was separate or she just used some of her other backgrounds for that. Because some of her flora and feline, I mean, some of her most of her garden party, I don't think is on a panel. It's pieced, you know, it's regular quilting, quilt blocks. So, and then what you do is you collage the main feature of it on top of the background that you've quilted. So, this has become my favorite. This, and I want to learn how to do some of the more I want to learn how to create my own patterns in collage quilting. So, but I'm just such a beginner. I am just awed by the things some of these artists create. It's just like in cross stitch. You're going, Teresa Kogut. I mean, her artwork is so primitive, but it is wonderful. So, anyway, we will see you guys next time with my other boxes come in. I have a book coming in, a package from the Fat Quarter Shop, here's one more package. I have something, I think, from 123 Stitch. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this haul video, and there are several more coming up. I'm thinking there is another small haul coming. Told you about the Fat Quarter Shop. You'll see what it is when it gets here. I told you about 123 Stitch. I told you about the book. And the book I found off Etsy. And it's been shipped, but it's still in the city of origin. You know, the holiday, nothing's, yeah. I think the reason that Collage Quilter got here so fast is because of this I-40 connection. It's really just an overnight drive for a postal service truck to get to Amarillo, and we're on their drop-off point. So, anyway, so, all right, love you guys. We'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.